welcome. Highfalutin Ski Bum Podcast, episode number 272. It is your pals, Mario and Brian. Mario, what's up?
Not much. I'm feeling a little weird these days. Like there's a lot of fluidity going on in the world right now. There's a lot of weird shit happening, good and bad, and it's just weird. There's a lot of demystification of stuff. Brian and I were just talking about a lot of stuff where we're learning that the stuff that we were told that everybody was spitting, that all, spouting was bullshit. So there's a lot of weird feelings going on right now.
Crazy times. Yeah, I was definitely in a funk for a little while there, but I will tell you, the last week and a half or so, like seeing all these Canadian truckers honk honk, hashtag honk honk, going up there and causing a big ruckus in Ottawa and demanding
finally a push to
freedom.
Set things right.
Yeah, demanding freedom, which is a basic human need, want.
Yeah.
Just fighting for that. It's so beautiful to see. So that got me fired up. And then seeing Joe Rogan, an inspiration for this podcast, 100%.
Yes.
The White House, whose job it is to uphold the Constitution, including the First Amendment, is asking Spotify, a Swedish company, to censor Joe Rogan, an American citizen, for disinformation. Like, how messed up is that?
That's disinformation.
That's not the job of the White House.
Yeah.
When the president was sworn into office, the oath was, "I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to do the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God." Defending the Constitution.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's been no defense of Constitution for a while now. It's ridiculous.
When people want other people censored, and you look at all these artists coming out now, like Neil Young and David Crosby and all these old hippies who were fighting for freedom back in the 60s and 70s, whose music was all about freedom, are now somehow protesting someone's conversations in the name of censorship. That blows my mind. Like, I can't even wrap my head around that.
They went from fight for freedom to obey.
Yeah. And how do you combat some disinformation? With a conversation with, hey, you said this, here's the evidence that this is incorrect. This, ABC, this is it. No one wants to have that conversation with Joe Rogan. Fauci's not going on there. No one is willing to go and go and try to disprove this disinformation. That's the most insane thing about it, is they're not like, hey man, I didn't say that. I said this is supposed to be correct. They're just trying to shut it down, end the conversation.
It's a lot of thuggery and cancel culture right now.
But when that usually happens? When someone is getting really, really close to uncovering something that people in power really, really don't want to have uncovered.
That's right. Just like the truth about ski areas. Boom.
Snow is not even real, bro. You didn't know that? Snow is fake.
We've been putting up fake snow since 2012.
There's no such thing as snow.
We print fake money news. And we print fake snow.
Fake snow. Hashtag fake snow.
That's funny shit.
We want to talk about that kind of stuff. We're here to talk about fun stuff, about skiing, about love, about community, about friendship.
So I think we could talk about Terracea and my new puffer jacket that they sent me. That is dope as shit.
Look at that. Well, you're jumping ahead a few seconds. We will get there. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We do appreciate it. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. You can go to your favorite podcasting apps. Spotify. We're not taking ourselves down from there. We love you, Spotify. iTunes, Amazon, everywhere where podcasts are found. iHeartRadio. Send us an email, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to buy some cool swag, skibumpodcast.com/shop. I need to get updated. We got to get some new stuff. Working on it. I've been saying that for months. I know that. I apologize. There is still some cool stuff out there at the moment. Sponsors. Thank you so much to our sponsors. Terracea, TERRACEA. They are at terracea.com. Premium cold weather solutions. Their mission to create best-in-class apparel that can be worn in any cold temperature environment, designed with thoughtful features and fit, lots of pockets, which we love, and
Boom.
always providing the optimum level of performance for whatever you are doing. They fully believe in the idea that good products can always be made better and strive to constantly improve, refine, and optimize all facets of their products. Go to their website, terracea.com. Use the code TerraceaBum, all one word, TERRACEABUM, 15% off.
Boom.
Do you have your puffer jacket you want to show?
I'd have to go run the other room and get it. I wear it like every day now because it got a little chilly. And I
Dude,
tell you what, it's freaking awesome.
super high quality piece. I absolutely love
Yeah.
it. I wear it all the time. I love
And the
my
pockets are nice. Like they're perfectly designed pockets. I'm a big pocket guy.
yeah. I've had again other big name brands. I've worn
Bad
their
pocket
stuff.
design pisses me off.
It's okay. This stuff's good. I love this Terracea stuff. I wear it. I just wore it skiing with my son this week. And also a huge shout out and thank you to Paradise Skis, paradiseskis.com, paradiseskis.com. They make seriously fun skis. They're all about making skiing as fun as possible, whether that's shredding laps in Hawaiian shirts, bringing the parking lot après, or getting up early to go for that huge backcountry objective. It is their mission to build skis and snowboards that allow their customers to enjoy every single day in the mountains.
You got them in your house?
Got them in my house. I got the reds. I haven't had a chance.
You didn't mount the bindings?
The bindings are on. I haven't had a chance to take them out yet.
Oh, you got the bindings on. All right.
Yes. Go to paradiseskis.com. Use the code SKIBUM15, 15% off. They got the reds, the resort skis, the blue, the black country skis, and they got the green, the split board for all you boarders out there. So check them out. They make awesome stuff. Thank you, Paradise Skis. Mario, let's kick it off the way we always do.
It's time for Après today.
Dog's here today. He's running around crazy.
Stormy hasn't sponsored the podcast yet. We should get like Chewy.com or something to sponsor Stormy.
What we got to do is have a map and have him like poop on the map, and that'll be where the next big dumping is going to happen. Right? Not a bad idea.
Yeah. It's
dump
like
for a dump.
Like the Puxatawny Phil.
Yeah,
dumps.
That's right.
Dumps a doggy Storm.
Dumps a doggy Stormy.
There you go.
Dumps and dumps. So après. So I actually am going with a hard cider today. We had several conversations about hard cider. Now this is a local hard cider.
Okay, so not
cider.
Soda.
Hard seltzer. Sorry. So this is a hard seltzer.
Hard seltzer.
And this is from a local brewing company. There's Three Daughters. So Three Daughters. I went to the brewery this week, and this past weekend is somebody's birthday, a big birthday. So we went there. It was really chill. They had a band. I mean, you had this huge brewery. It's really big, and they make some really good beers. They just came out with another IPA that's really like an orange IPA. It's actually really delicious. So I was crushing those, but it was just so chill. Everybody brings their dogs. It was this massive brewery, and right in the brewery, right in front of like the big vats, they actually set up this whole big stage, and they had band playing there all day. It was a lot of fun. Of course, it was also like 65 degrees, so it was perfect. And everybody's just hanging out. They got food now, so very cool. And I tried these there, and I was like, I usually don't. I'm not a big fan of just trying random hard seltzers, but somebody said it was pretty good, so I was like, let me try it. So this one's pretty good. It's a raspberry. Tastes just like a White Claw or something like that. Maybe a little bit cleaner than White Claw, but it's right in that wheelhouse, and that raspberry flavor is pretty good. So,
well, I saw that they actually have hard soda now. Like nothing is sacred anymore.
Well,
like
think about it. They started with the iced tea, right? It was hard
that the
iced
first,
tea,
like Mike's hard iced tea or
Lynchburg lemonade, twisted teas. Then they went into like ciders. Then it was seltzers. And then they have, if you can find it, it's dark. It's dealing with the dark arts, the hard water. Yeah, it literally tastes just like water. You could drink it like at the gym and not think there's anything in it, and it's like 5 to 7%.
It's going to be hard air next.
It's like
just like
roofie water.
alcoholic air. It's just like you're just getting hammered off of
It's
like
like-
breathing.
It's like Bill Cosby roofie water. That's all it is. It's like Bill Cosby's own hard water.
The cola.
This is good.
No, but they have
That
Bud
guy's still in
Light.
jail. He got out, right?
I think he got out on some technicality or something.
He got out because you can't keep him back for roofing and raping women.
He was roofing the inmates, roofing and banging the inmates. They had to get rid of him.
Oh man, I don't even know if he went to jail.
I think he did. He probably did. But no, they had like hard soda. So it's Bud Light seltzer hard soda. Like that's so many words. Like, so many words.
How about Red Bull doing a hard Red Bull? Hard Bull.
Let's see, hard Bull.
Now I'm thinking hard
taurine.
Bull.
Isn't that what taurine is? Like bull semen? That was like with the ingredient in Red Bull originally.
Yeah.
Allegedly, I think. I heard.
Don't they still have taurine in it?
I think it's artificial taurine now.
It's trititanium.
Or it's something. It's like based on bull semen, but it's not actually the good.
What's in Chernobyl? Because that's what's in there.
But that's where the Red Bull and vodka, like still, that's like a classic. Like I can taste that drink and remember those ridiculous nights I've had in the past. Like that's it's just that flavor.
Well, usually those are good. Like I'm not one to pound those like vodka Red Bulls, but when you're sitting there playing blackjack for hours, those are nice to keep you up and keep you nice and tuned.
Keep you in the game. My sister-in-law's friend in college died from like chugging Red Bull vodkas.
Yeah, there's been a few deaths from that, and I guess it could get away from you.
Yeah, it's no bueno.
No bueno.
If you're like a sorority
bad way
girl
to die.
Starving yourself and puking before, yeah, it's just not a good way to go.
That and the vodka tampons, that's a bad way to go.
That's what are you doing?
Do we have to have an autopsy? I see the tampon in his ass. Like, sorry.
Yeah, that's a dark place you're going to. That's a really forget dark water. The water is nothing.
Think about that. Like, it's sad enough that young kids have died from that, but like then they got to tell the parents, and then how'd he die? Well, he put a vodka soaked tampon up his ass. Like, real? You couldn't, And I'm sure the parents are like, "Fuck!" Everybody's looking at us like we never told him not to put those up his ass. But like, do we have to have that conversation with kids now?
That seems like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That's right. Larry David, I don't understand. What are you putting that up your ass?
I do. What you feel? Yeah. And then like he goes and tries it one night.
No, I'm not gonna do it. Fucking Larry David.
I'm saying for the next season, that could be an episode for sure.
That could be Larry. We could write with you. We got ideas.
skibumpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. We spit mad rhymes.
So last week, I went with my throat coat and Grand Marnier, which has been my drink of choice. I showed you the damage I've done to that handle of Grand Marnier, and it's absolutely ridiculous. It's actually growing. I'm getting a little concerned about how much, because I'm not drinking a lot. It's just every night, it's a little bit, as my dad would have said, just a couple drops you put in there of the Grand Marnier in my tea. And I'm
you want to drink it. Like you're on a mission to drink it before it gets stale.
I'm going to be a little bit concerned if I pull this off, to be honest. I don't think I need to drink a whole handle of Grand Marnier in any 12-month period. But anyway,
imagine you're like at AA and they're like, "Well, what got you here?" Some people vodka, beer, Grand Marnier. What? Like what? Vodka Red Bull on a tampon would have been better than that.
It got to the point where I did a Grand Marnier tampon and I knew I needed help.
I know. I'm sitting there on the floor crying in the bathroom. My wife comes in. I need help.
I started speaking French. It got really weird. I don't even speak French, but the Grand Marnier tampon just...
put you
Le
over the edge.
tampon, as they say.
Le tampon.
Le tampon. So I couldn't go with that. I can't do the same thing back to back, especially something that's as uncool as that. So I had a little bit of tea before. A little under the weather right now. Not too bad. Just a little something. Probably Omicron plus or whatever they're calling it.
It's stealth Omicron. The secret Omicron.
Yeah.
You have super secret Omicron.
I decided to make a little cocktail. Because whenever I'm sick, I love orange juice.
Nice.
I don't really drink much of it during the year. It's got a lot of sugar. I don't like to do that. I get sick. Now, if you have never had the Trader Joe's unpasteurized fresh squeezed orange juice, that is orange juice.
Delicious.
Like Tropicana can go, it's pretty much like orange drink.
But isn't Grand Marnier orange juice that you don't have to refrigerate?
There you go.
Add a little water to it and you good.
So I decided to make a sort of tequila sunrise.
Oh, all right.
So I wanted orange juice. I didn't want to go with vodka. So I got my Kirkland Tequila Anejo,
Oh, okay.
which apparently is a 94 pointer. I don't
Wow.
know how many points. Probably 100, maybe.
Who's that? James Beard, Suckling. They have all the ratings.
Yeah. This is goddamn Costco, man. Costco booze. You can't beat it. So
Costco booze.
a tequila sunrise is supposed to have orange juice, tequila, and grenadine. So I don't have grenadine in my house. That's something
Ah,
you make like Shirley Temples with that, you know, like
no, I
Dirty
have it.
Shirley.
I have that around just for tequila sunrises.
Do you really?
Yeah, I freaking love those things once in a
They're
while.
good. I didn't have any grenadine. So what did I do? Boom. Maraschino. The
Oh,
Luxardo baller
nice.
maraschino cherries.
Luxardo juice.
God damn it. If you have never had these things in a Manhattan, in anything,
Old fashioned.
old fashions don't have cherries though.
Yeah, you do.
Old fashions have like the little
No,
on
they have
fire orange wedge, don't they? Or orange
They have
peel?
both. They have the orange and
Oh,
the
they do?
cherry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Treat yourself. You know,
Treat
life is
yourself.
short. You may die you may crash into a gas truck tomorrow. And the $16 you would have spent on these maraschino cherries, you wouldn't even notice. You wouldn't have cared.
Worth it. You just dropping cherries, like just making it rain cherries.
Dude, they taste. I don't want to be creepy or weird. So I won't be. But they're just like, I don't even know how to describe how sweet and delicious these things are. If you were just gonna go off the rails and just like give up on life, eat a whole freaking jar of these things. It's a good place to start.
Just eat up, man.
So much sugar. So I decided to put one of those in. So I got my little cup here. I got a little orange juice, a little tequila, a little Luxardo cherries, and I gotta tell you, this is delicious. I'm feeling better already.
Nice. You see? Dude, I made the mistake of looking up Bill Cosby and clicking on
Oh,
memes.
no.
It's just
Oh
bad.
no.
I gotta shut it down. So that sounds pretty good.
It's
How's
delicious.
that compared to? Well, you got the tequila and orange juice, and you just substituted the grenadine for the Luxardo juice, right?
Yeah, I just put a little bit of. I put a cherry in and kind of mashed
But
it
there's
up
no
in there.
Grand Marnier.
I don't think Grand Marnier is in a tequila sunrise, is it?
I didn't know if you put some in. You could put in.
I gotta dial it back. I cannot go through an entire handle of Grand Marnier in like. It's gonna be 6 months. I gotta extend this bad boy. I gotta get to
Think
at least
about it as
13
the
months.
other mimosa. You could put Grand Marnier, orange juice, maybe a little seltzer water, a little club soda. Boom.
A Mexican mimosa.
Mexican mimosa.
Yeah, there you go. I watched. Andrea found some show on Netflix. It was showing all these like Mexican, I guess, cuisines or foods or whatever. And they would go to different places and show how they did it. And they had the one, I forget what the drink was called, but they make these really elaborate drinks with beer. It's beer, and they mix a whole bunch of they mix like candy in with it and have these giant cups.
Damn.
A Murciado, or someone's laughing at my.
Wasn't a Chalada, was it?
Well, one guy made it with that.
Yeah.
One guy made it with that.
That's
and I was
the
like,
Bud
oh.
Chalada in a can.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if I ever sent you the picture, but I was in Canada.
Michelada. A Michelada.
A Michelada?
Yeah. They were taking like beer and mixing it with like candy, and one had like shrimp in it. They had like they just
chuck everything in the kitchen sink in
whatever.
there.
There's all different versions of it. So people do it sweet. Some people do it like in a coconut with all kinds of like ceviche almost in it. Like it was interesting.
That's weird shit.
It was weird.
So I was in Canada, and I remember I saw there were like 6 different flavors of the Bud Chalada, and I was like, "What the hell are they doing?"
Is there a Chalada Bud Light seltzer?
It was it's the Bud. Well, it has beer with like I don't know the stuff from a.
What's a clam juice, tomato juice, and beer? Right?
Yeah,
it's Chalada is.
It's clamato and beer, so it's kind of like a Bloody Mary made with beer.
Do they have a platinum? Bud Chalada platinum. Is Pitbull drinking that right now?
Oy.
Mr. Worldwide?
Oh, look at that. They have classic Chalada. So that's Mexican beer cocktail, easy and refreshing. So maybe it's just a Chalada is like the type. And then Budweiser, of course, makes their own. Modelo makes one. Look at that.
Yeah,
Bud
Bud
Light
Light.
Chalada is better than Bud Light. I
Look at
find that very
that.
hard to believe.
They got all kinds of different ones. They got the original, extra lime, mango, and fuego.
Fuego.
But there is no
Man,
platinum version yet.
not yet. You can make your own though, I'm sure.
Yeah, but the Michelada, that's what it's called. And it's like, it was bananas this whole episode.
Oh wait, what's the difference between a Chalada and a Michelada?
Oh,
Chalada is more simple, and a Michelada is tomato juice based beer cocktail, and a Chalada is more simple. It's beer with lime and salt. Oh, so what's in the can that they call a Chalada is really a Michelada.
ah.
I guess I don't even freaking know. That's a slippery slope. That's another click hole. I just gotta shut that down.
That's for tomorrow, maybe.
That and Bill Cosby. Gotta shut all that down.
Shut it down. Restart the computer right now.
Let's go to ski news.
And we're recording this on February the 3rd, which is a Thursday. And maybe you know, or maybe you didn't know, but the Olympics have already kicked off.
Right?
Specifically, the skiing has kicked off. They already had the first men's downhill training run today. They're doing the men's downhill training 2 on Friday. And then Saturday is the third training. And Sunday, we got the event. So this is kicking off. Olympics are kicking off. It's going to be an interesting Olympics, as we talked about last week. It's going to be a lot of lack of people, a lot of weird lockdowns, a lot of anal swabbing.
Hey.
It's going to be interesting. I think all the snow also is going to be man-made snow. There's going to be no natural snow at the Alpine Skiing Center. At least that was.
Dude, they were
the
skiing.
claim.
I saw it the other day, and it was regular mountains with all green, and just where they were skiing was snow. I was like, wow, that's a lot of fake snow.
That's crazy. That said, when we talked to our pal Matt this past, I think it was the fall, maybe it was the late summer, he was saying that, the person who designed this course, it's like again, I apologize for not knowing off the top of my head. It is a famous ski resort designer. So the trails and the runs are supposed to be super legit, but it's just very bizarre because it's all artificial snow there. But we also want to give a huge shout out and wish good luck to our buddy Benji Alexander, who is going to be competing for Jamaica there in the giant slalom. We were trying to get him on last week. Unfortunately, he was a little bit busy getting prepped for the Olympics, which makes total sense. But
He
he
had a lot of stuff on his mind, I'm sure.
A lot of stuff going on. Somehow he couldn't put us near the top, and I get it.
He was trying. He wrote to us. He was like, "Let's try to hook it up for one of the days," and almost worked.
We sadly just couldn't make it happen in time. But he's there right now representing Jamaica, which is really cool. We've all, we kind of told the story. We talked to him. Geez, that was a year and a half ago at this point. But yeah, former DJ, turned skier. He's only been skiing really since 2015, and he qualified for the Olympics. Just getting out there and getting after it and being dedicated to this. So he's there. So hopefully he is able to
amazing
to do well. It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable.
So how old is he now again? Is
38.
38. So
yeah,
38. A lot of people would say, "Wow, he's not under 20." And he started skiing later in life. Like it's a good story. It should motivate a lot of people. When you think about it, it's really really good thing.
It really shows that if you want something and you're passionate about it, you need to go for it, because you never know what you're capable of making happen. I mean, it really is a crazy, crazy story. And it's really inspiring. It's exciting. I'm sure they're going to talk about him a lot on the broadcast they're going to have. I don't know what day he's going to be out there.
Well, I got the schedule here. He's doing the giant slalom?
Giant slalom, yeah.
So giant, it's women's.
It looks like Sunday the 13th, so a week from this weekend.
Yes, men's giant run 1, so he'll have his first run then.
Yeah,
and then men's giant. It
looks like it's that same day. later on in the
Oh,
day.
yeah, and that's the medal.
Giant slalom run too. Yeah. So,
Sunday, February 13th. Got to
a
mark your
weekend change
calendars.
away. Yeah, that's
That's
going to
a Super
be.
Bowl Sunday, isn't it?
I believe you're right. Yes.
I will be coming back from New Jersey then.
Look at you.
Boom.
Well, you're not going to be watching your Buccaneers playing. That's for sure.
The whole team's ready to crumble. Tom Brady quit. They're all like, I don't know what's going to go on.
Everybody's
get Jameis
quitting.
Winston back.
Oh boy. Start off with your quarterback coach, Leftwich,
right.
or was he the offensive coordinator?
Offensive coordinator. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's exciting. Skiing's going down. Olympics are happening. One slightly crazy thing. I don't know if you checked out that link, the cocktails and hazmat suits that I had in there.
No.
Because of COVID and the bizarre restrictions that they're having there and the way they're trying to keep people quote unquote safe, they show this video of a bartender at a Chinese ski resort wearing a blue and white hazmat suit as he pours a cocktail before passing the drink to a similarly attired waiter who shuffles across the room in blue plastic booties to deliver the drink.
Wow. Oh, yeah. I see it now. That's crazy.
They have the whole bar like blocked off. They're wearing hazmat suits. And I think the person who's sitting there at the table doesn't have anything on. Like he's just kind of hanging out and on his phone, drinking his drink.
Well, if you think about that, the patrons come in and they're not, encumbered by a mask or anything. And these people are, working there just all suited up.
Yeah, they're saying that room service order of a club sandwich and fries came wrapped in plastic and delivered by a worker, again in full PPE. Hallways and lobbies of venues and hotels are constantly sprayed with disinfectant, giving the air a distinct smell of Lysol. Most days at the media center, workers in PPE emblazoned with the colorful Olympic rings spray down floors and a robot sprays disinfectant into the air.
Wow. Hey, they got to do what they need to do. I mean, these are the top athletes from around the world.
China has maintained a zero COVID strategy throughout the global pandemic, aggressively isolating and tracing coronavirus cases to keep its official exposure low. Mainland China has reported 106,000 infections and 4,600 related deaths since the onset of the pandemic. Wink.
Wink. Well, that's because they have the actual vaccine there, right? Since they created it. I won't even get into that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
where Dr. Fauci went and visited, but claimed he never went there. Still want to get into that. I won't. That's if I was on for another podcast. That's when we're on Joe Rogan's show. We'll talk about that.
That's right. We can go deep then.
That's right.
So it's really crazy. I hope we do get to talk to Benji when he comes back because I'd really love to hear his experience and hopefully he can be honest about it because, like we talked about last week, people are being told to kind of shut their mouths about things they're encountering, about humanitarian issues. And I wonder how long after the Olympics, when people are back home, that sort of keep your mouth shut is going to be the MO.
Yeah, well, think about this, right? So I think this Friday is when they usually have the opening ceremonies, right?
Right.
That's this week. So next week will be the middle of the Olympics. Out of what? It's 3 weeks long or something?
It's like two and change.
2 and change, right? So he's going the 13th. He's going like almost right in the middle. So if he hangs out in Olympic Village, he's going to be done with his event, just hanging out. He might be able to give us a podcast from Olympic Village, and then we'll see what he really says.
I think his phone will be like tapped and won't be able to disclose any information. They were saying that the official app they were supposed to use was claiming that it was not taking any of your data, but was actually, like, you know how sometimes you get when you have an app, it'll say like, oh, data. Only like, can you use the microphone with this app? Like, can we use your location? And you can do like, oh, while using the app all times. They said this app was on all the time, like with the microphone on.
Wow.
Like the official Olympic app for the competitors.
Damn.
which is
You got to throw your
super
phone out
creepy.
after the Olympics then.
Dude, you need to get a burner for the
Get a
Olympics.
burner. What do you? There's a new number. Yeah, I'm on my burner for the Olympics.
Yeah.
The Olympic burners.
Yeah.
Just go out like Team USA. They're like handing out phones on the buses they get off. Here's your number. All right, next up, a story about Vail. Rare Vail Resort's epic fail is a lesson for how Colorado must grow. They're saying the state isn't at capacity, but it feels that way when I-70 traffic leads to overflowing parking lots and 20-minute lift lines. And they have some pictures. You know what? 20 minutes would be like a walk in the park for some of the places that we've been. But I guess for a lot of these places, it's, So Vail Resorts and the Ski Snowboard Corporation that everybody loves to hate, except on powder days when ticket prices drop 20%. But they're saying the anger is directed at the owners of Vail, Beaver Creek, Breckenridge, Keystone, and Crested Butte because of Vail Resort's epic fail for a record number of season pass holders attracted by the aforementioned discount descending on the mountains that are understaffed, undersnowed, and overcrowded. So I could speak to when I was at Crested Butte a few weeks ago with Steve. I got to say that there weren't crowds, but you definitely noticed that every place was struggling for staff, and even talking to the GM there, they were, she was like, yeah, we're understaffed. We do the best we can. And they have the executives all go out there and they help, do manage lift lines, whatever they got to do. So it's all over the industry. They're saying the service industry that's facing the labor shortage and 2 class action suits, one in California, one in Colorado, spell out a nickel and diming labor practice that is still in place and would make recruitment during the Great Resignation tough. So last month they offered $13.1 million to settle the California suit. So hopefully the lessons learned to attract and retain workers, but that remains to be seen. So I think a lot of people are digging into this now, and they're saying, what they pay workers, where workers have to live. They're actually starting to acknowledge kind of, the workers' conditions. Very interesting that it hasn't been brought up before. Everybody just took it as like a rite of passage to be like a ski bomb or to get your free lift pass. But now logistically, it's just prohibitive for some of these workers to make it to work. I mean, between the cost of living, where they have to live, proximity to where they work, it's not easy to get, cheap, close housing, and the wage.
The next part of the article is where it gets really interesting because the dissatisfaction with Vail is also a symptom of a bigger, grander problem, a threat to the Colorado way of life where every man, woman, and child can be weekend warriors in the Rockies. For those who aren't aware, Colorado ski resorts, with few exceptions, operate on federal land. This land is owned by all of us collectively, but the resort owners spend tremendous amounts of time and money maintaining the mountain and installing the latest technology to get us higher, faster, and to more terrain than ever before with fewer risks. Resorts, in conjunction with the federal government, have made expansions in recent years. Skiers and snowboarders have acres and acres of new territory to explore. Yes, the initial lift lines from the base might be long, but once you get into the backcountry, or in some cases above timberline, there's open space on and off piste. Expanding existing resorts instead of authorizing new resorts makes sense, as the large footprints crushing ecosystems are really in the villages where people stay and dine while skiing. Cutting paths for lifts to soar to new mountain peaks is a smaller impact on the environment than one might think. Our forests and wildlife are more vulnerable than ever, but the federal review system in place for these expansions is adequately onerous to ensure protection. There's still room to grow responsibly, including at smaller resorts. Part of the growth, a critical part, is also expanding traffic capacity. The state must find innovative ways to get folks up to the mountains and back to Denver in the same day without hours of metered traffic. Interstate 70 has too many pinch points where expansion is cost prohibitive, but if we could bore Eisenhower and Johnson tunnels 5 decades ago, certainly there's something we can do today.
Contact the boring company.
Well, they mentioned that in there. Well, they mentioned the Hyperloop.
Yeah.
The Colorado Department of Transportation just announced a $700 million plan to relieve one of those pinch points at the western bottom of Floyd Hill and we hope the design will incorporate a long-term plan to add some sort of transit lane in the future, rail, bus, hyperloop, etc.
Wow.
So that's one of the things. I mean, you look at the numbers. I was looking at how much federal land Colorado has, and it looks like as of 2012, the federal government owned between 635 to 640 million acres, or
Wow.
28% of the 2.27 billion acres of land in the US. For Colorado, the government owns 36.23% of Colorado's total land, 24 million acres out of 66 million total acres.
Wow. It's a lot of land.
So there is a ton of land. And whenever you bring up, like this article says, whenever you talk about expansion, like bringing up, cutting trees down and building lifts, and you start getting the environmentalists all freaked out,
Right.
and again, you don't want to disturb ecosystems. But imagine your perfect place you live. You live right outside of Denver, you love it, you're the foothills. Imagine if perhaps there was some Boring Company tunnel that shot you out to this, perhaps a new resort just past where Vail is. Maybe it goes a little bit further south. An hour and 15 in this Hyperloop tube pops you out. There's not a whole lot of base area stuff. There isn't this village nonsense. It's almost like another A basin, but you go through this tube out to get to it. There's no parking. There's no village. It's just 2,800 feet of vertical, gnarly terrain, backcountry accessible.
Oh.
Does that sound crazy? A little bit, but it's also possible.
Yeah. Well, if they did something like a Hyperloop, you get there in no time at all, and they could have a few stops, like, okay, get off here for Vail and keep going out to go to the middle of nowhere and do some backcountry. That'd be kind of fun.
I get it. I get it. Digging a hole, putting a subway, a train, something like that would take forever and it would cost billions of dollars. I get that. We're just kind of throwing the best possible ideas out there.
Well, what if they just, instead of closing all those passes, figure out a way to not have to close all, because that causes a 2-hour drive to turn into a 5-hour drive like that. Once those passes
the problem is the passes, when it's closed, it's usually weather related. I mean,
right.
Look at how much snow they get out there. When you get big dumps, it's awesome when you're on the mountain, but getting to the mountain makes it a nightmare. And then the accidents that are caused. If you get into an accident and that closes the roadway,
but if at least did a tunnel through there, they wouldn't have to worry about the avalanche and clearing the road. It would be okay. That part that avalanches, you go under the tunnel and it's fine,
Or what if you create some sort of roof over I-70?
Boom, right where the pass gets bad.
You get a bunch of hippie chicks to shave their armpit hair, and you collect it all. You get a bunch of guys' beards. You get all that. You put it together. You could probably build some sort of tunneling system for I-70.
The hair tunnel. Mix it with some mud, like Adobe. Just make it like.
You can make hempcrete, like concrete, but made with hempcrete.
Oh, that'd be great, hempcrete.
Dude, that's a real thing.
Yeah. Have all the smoked out hemp and just use it.
I think people got to start thinking a little bit more and looking for possibilities, because again, look at all the possible forest acreage that's out there and what you could do, and how you could expand a few other mountains. I mean, build a few more. And again, we don't need the big, ridiculous Vail Village. You don't need the whole town like Breckenridge. You just have like A basin type places, a couple more A basin type places, and you would lower the amount of people at all the other resorts if they could do something like that.
But even think about, let's say you had a Hyperloop that went from Denver to Vail, right? You would take all those cars off the road, right? You start going with the big resorts, take all those cars off the road. It's safer. It's more energy efficient. You don't have, whatever it is, 2,000 people on the road trying to get skiing. Let's say you take 2,000 cars, let's say 1,000 cars off the road. That's a lot. you know?
Oh yeah.
I
And
mean, it
also you're
adds up.
looking at, you take 2,000 cars off the lot. You're also taking out 2,000 variables that could potentially cause an accident that causes
Right.
everyone else to be backed up.
Right. Backups, you got rescue people have to go out there. You got a lot of stuff you cut out. So,
A monorail.
yeah, I
Like, couldn't they
mean,
chuck a monorail up there somewhere? You put the monorail above I-70, and that would also work as a like a roof to keep less snow getting on it. Listen, I am not a central planner. I have no idea about construction costs. I'm just throwing some things out there.
I'm just saying in general, like, people are concerned about the environment, but yet they consistently get one or two people in a car and they go somewhere. Well, that's great, but you realize you have a whole car for one or two people and your stuff. Well, what if you were able to do it more efficiently with a train or some kind of people mover that's a little more efficient? It's
Maybe,
efficiency, you
yeah.
know?
Mhm.
And people like the idea of buses, they just take too long. It's easier to drive, it's quicker to drive.
Yeah.
But if you had something that was faster and safer, now you're talking about a proposition that people might buy into.
Yeah. We gotta look at new ideas. If people are gonna complain about the traffic and lift lines, we gotta start throwing out some crazy ideas because crazy is gonna fix this problem.
We could put people into below Earth orbit for recreation now. People buy tickets to do that shit. You mean we can't figure out a way to do this? You can. People just aren't trying hard enough.
They don't want it bad enough.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, people talking about people who want it bad enough.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
know that this year is the 5th Kings and Queens of Corbets? I didn't realize that there were that many of them. I thought it was like the 3rd or 4th year. Maybe. It's actually gonna be the 5th year this year. It is happening at good old Jackson Hole, February 12th through 18th. The good folks at Jackson Hole just put out a video from last year's event called Kings and Queens of Corbett for Taming the Beast. And it kind of shows a little bit of the history of it, the first couple of years, how it's changed, evolved, grown, and how all these skiers who are doing it, just it's like their favorite event of the year. They're there at Jackson Hole for a week. They have a great time. Last year they got dumped on with POW. And it's just so much fun to watch because, again, only after 4 years to see the event evolve as much as it did. Because it was pretty much people taking maybe like a 20-foot, lead in, launching off the first year. Now they have that like kind of long curled run, which is at least 100, 200 feet to get them into it at this point. So it's already evolved so much in 4 years. It's almost like we talked about the X Games last week, how over 20 years, how the X Games has, exponentially changed the degree of difficulty of the events and the competitors. This has done the same thing, but in 4 years. It's crazy.
It's nuts.
So it's so cool to see how they're like, I look at it and just the ease at which they launch into like one of the gnarliest runs on the planet is just it's terrifying, it's exciting, it's inspiring, it's just cool. So
I
there's a
miss
video.
Jackson Hole. I gotta go back there.
It's a special place. We'll post a link in the show notes if you guys want to check it out. It's on YouTube.
That's pretty sweet.
We got one more story here in the ski news.
Here, Brian found this on Kickstarter. There's a portable tow rope for the backcountry. This is a fantastic idea because you talk about you hike up once and then you have your own personal little lift, tow rope device, saving you a lot of time and effort getting back up the hill. So so they have it on Kickstarter. It's called PL1, and it's a portable rope tow for the backcountry as it's being advertised. Their goal was $39,000 and they smashed it. They're at 92,000. So
And it's
they
still got
reached
3 weeks to go.
yeah, with 3 weeks to go. So it's really cool. It has paracord that they use because it's lightweight and you can, I guess high strength. And they have a substantial amount of that. And then they have this device. It's basically is the tow rope, and you get up, you climb up the first time, and then you secure the tow rope, machine on, and you drop the line, and then you ride on it. So it's basically you tie the line on, and then you use this device to basically scoot you up on that line that you just tied off. It's very cool, and they have all these calculations here, expected vertical, and then your skier weight, and they could tell you like about how much vertical you can get per charge, because it's all like rechargeable battery stuff.
You can get like 2,600 feet of vertical in one shot.
In one shot. That's pretty cool.
No, that's got to be total. I think that's like
Well, total on the charge.
total on the charge. Yeah.
Right. So depending on how far you go up or what you're doing. And this could be used for, they say backcountry, but let's say you have a little hill near your house and you want to teach your kids how to ski.
Yeah.
Well, rather than have to walk back up and you use something like this, just zip up and there you go. Let's go again, kids.
It's so cool too. And, you watch it. They've been in development for over 3 years on it. And you look at it like, wow, that thing really isn't that big. And it actually only weighs 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So you basically have your own private little rope
You
tow.
can use this for sledding. Take the
Use it
kids
for
sledding.
Yeah.
Chuck this out there and be like, all right, let's go up the rope.
Yeah. It's pretty
pretty
awesome.
cool.
Built and tested in Canada. It's so
Home-
cool. Yeah. Like
Home of Trudeau.
$39,000 was the goal. They got 92 already.
Yeah.
And it costs what? Is it $1,000? I think.
Let me see the pledge amounts.
1350 Canadian, which is about 1,065 US. There's only 198 left.
Yeah, they sold out the 1,300 level because they're all gone. You get an early bird PL1 package. Wow, pledge $6,500 or more, and you get 5 times of everything.
Nice.
They have a 2 times package, 2,800. Complete package for 1,400. That's still open. 1,450.
Oh, the 1,350 doesn't come with the cord and the bag and the picket.
Yeah, it's just the sender only.
Oh boy, yeah, you want to spend the 1,450, I think, to get the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the smart money right there. You
That's
get the
the
whole
move.
get up. 1,300 was the early bird package, but that's gone. That was the complete package, but it was a little bit less.
So basically, it's 1,450 now for that same complete package.
Right. But I like if anybody gets a 5-pack and they want to just take one of them, send them, to Brian and I, that would work.
We'll come. Like, what if you have them and you want us to use them with you? Just hit us up, skibumpodcast@gmail.com.
You start looking at it like, oh, this is nice. Why buy one? Why not buy 2? Why not share the love? Christmas isn't that far away. Valentine's Day is coming up. We're pretty sweet guys. You could send one of these to us.
If you want to be our Valentine,
that's right.
Hit us up.
We'll even have a day on the mountain with you.
Just no butt stuff.
No butt stuff. No frontal nudity and no butt stuff.
I'm not saying no frontal nudity. I'm just saying no butt stuff. I mean, it is a nice $1,000 portable rope tow. I mean, I will,
That is true.
Yeah,
that is true.
I'll give something up. Don't worry. I'll earn it. I will earn it.
It's a rope tow. Otherwise, in the UK, they call it a tug, don't they? So you could have a nice tug.
I believe they might.
No butt stuff.
And
The tug's
Canada
okay.
is a former British colony, so
That's
it all
there you
makes
go.
it all makes sense, eh? All right, so that wraps up the ski news. So we have no main topic this week. We're not ashamed of it. We don't have anything. No interview. No trip
Nothing.
reviews. We got nothing.
We got a lot of thoughts and dreams about skiing.
Thoughts and dreams. I took my son this week to a little place, Bear Creek, out in Pennsylvania. Really cool spot. I gotta tell you, it was almost like a little oasis, the place, because it's this really nice. They had the whole lodge. They have a hotel there, a conference center. It's all really new, probably the last 10 years.
Shout out to Bear Creek.
They did a really nice job there, and we had a great time. I actually got him off his little harness for the second time now, and he's starting to really get the hang, making his turns, doing his stops.
Nice.
And it's so cool. It's like all the work I've been putting in the last 2 years, getting him comfortable and having fun in the snow, and he's starting to get it on his own now, and it's inspiring, it's exciting, it's cool, and I can't wait to get him out there some more. So did that this week. We got some bigger trips coming up later in the ski season, probably February, March, which is cool. So we're excited about that.
I'll be going in
But
2 weeks. Going back to Ogden.
you're going back to Ogden. That's going to be a great trip.
Gonna do snow basin, and I actually agreed with my wife because she wanted to do it. My wife, she wants to do cross country, so I'm finally gonna do a day of cross country with her.
Hit the Nordic Center. Nice.
Hitting the Nordic Center, we're gonna get a review on what snow basin and the area around it has to offer.
Oh, very cool. That'll be a good time.
Yeah, I'm
Mix it
actually
up.
excited. I told her I was like, I don't want to waste a day, but then I'm like, you know what? She's gonna do her thing. I'm gonna do my thing on the mountain. So it'd be nice to do this together and spend the day doing a little cross country. Who knows? I might like it better.
Like downhill sucks. I hate
Downhill
speed.
sucks. You got to do this, man.
Yeah.
Then
No,
I'll
that's
be
really
getting
cool.
my telemark bindings, and that'll be it.
There you go. Game has changed.
That's it.
Very cool. So we got stuff coming up. We'll have more fun. Talk about the ski news stuff. But I think we're going to do an old school version of the podcast, and we are going to go
Under the Ropes.
It's been a while since we've gone on. Yes.
This is where things usually go off the rails.
We're going to have to. Well, I got this whole bottle of tequila here, so things can go really far off the rails if we decide
to get
to.
another refill. I mean,
so last week we did the podcast early in the week when we had Steve on, and Thursday, which is usually our podcast day, we didn't podcast last week. I was doing work till like 9:30 at night, but I was drinking while I was working.
Oh.
And again, this whole trucker convoy thing started up, and I was like following it on social media, and I was getting really excited about it. And I was listening to Rush for like 2 hours. Like,
nice.
I just kept playing Rush, and I was like, yes, I was getting all fired up. The song Red Barchetta, like
great song.
Love that song so much. And I started like researching it. Apparently it's about like this futuristic world where cars can't exist. And there's these like almost like airfoil police. And he's like running away from the police because his father or his uncle has this like sweet red, a barchetta. I think it's called like a barge in Italian. So it's like a big old car. And it's, I think Ferrari, it's like a Ferrari made a car called a barchetta.
Oh, nice.
So it's about like the story of this old gasoline engine car that's his uncle has like illegally stored, and he goes out there every week to go drive it. And
it's one of those old Ferraris.
Yeah, from like the 40s maybe, or the 50s.
With the little number on the side, like one of those little racing jobs.
Yeah. So I was listening to like
the Ferrari 166 Barchetta.
Yeah.
They're saying it's the most important Ferrari.
Look at that. So
and
you listen to like Rush's songs, man. A lot of it is about like free will. That is my favorite song by them. Red Barchetta's right there though. And I kept listening to those songs over and over again while drinking. That wasn't I drank that much. I had a fight with my wife. I was in the basement. I'm down here. I'm doing stuff. I actually went on eBay and I bought someone I guess created these posters of like song lyrics, and I bought the one from it says it's the chorus of Free Will by Rush.
Nice.
It's coming from England.
Hey, that's awesome.
It's awesome. It was fun.
So I just sent you a link, and they're talking about the whole thing. 1948?
Yeah, it's such 47. A cool car, man.
Basically the 1940s. 1949 is when it debuted. But they have pictures of like some of these old ones that are still restored.
They're probably worth like millions.
They're gorgeous and they're tiny. They probably go fast too. You got a V12 in it in that little car.
It actually looks a lot like the Shelby Cobra, which was like 20 years later.
Yeah.
So cool.
Wow.
1,430 pounds.
30 pounds. That's it.
Whew. Jesus.
Wow.
The Bronco, the friggin' Bronco Raptor, the tires are 110 pounds each.
Yeah.
This whole car is 1,430 pounds. So,
and with a V12 in it.
That's so cool. Of course, it made like 150 horsepower back then.
It took leaded gas probably too.
Leaded gas.
Bullshit fancy gas they have today.
It's so crazy. You see like the little windshield and the people's are like a head taller than the windshield itself. It's so crazy.
So what's to do with leaded gas? Leaded gas had lead in it for lubrication for the engine?
I have no idea.
Because I always wondered, like, why did they add lead to the gas and why'd they take it out?
That's a wonderful question. Why lead in gas?
I read somewhere that it was for lubrication. Oh, but it was octane booster too. Huh.
It's complicated, apparently, according to Valvoline.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
Tetraethyl lead.
Simple answer was that automobiles needed to improve the octane rating of gasoline, which could be done by either refining the gas further, more expensive, or by identifying the right set of additives, way cheaper. So they call in the guys in lab coats who do experiments with things like hydrocarbon chains, compression variables, and auto ignition temperatures. While a number of different additives were considered, including ethanol, a complicated little compound called tetraethyl lead won out, primarily due to cost, availability, and persuasiveness of the people who developed it. By 63, ethyl and other lead-based anti-knock agents were present in 98% of the gas in supply.
They're saying it had a lot of anti-knock qualities.
Anti-knock, yeah.
So you wouldn't have knocking or pinging because anti-knock agents allow the use of higher compression ratios and greater efficiency and peak power. So I guess it burned better or something.
Huh.
Very interesting. Well, so that's a little side note.
So they required a nationwide phase out of lead in all gas in 73. So I guess it was lead getting in the air. I guess that's probably bad, right?
Probably bad.
Like lead paint.
Lead paint's on everything. All they do is encapsulate it. You're good.
You're good. It's like asbestos. As long as it's contained, you're probably fine. Maybe. Speaking of people who are fine, about Jeff Bezos. He's got a new super yacht that he's building or having built. He's not building it, obviously.
He's done pretty good for himself, right? Made a good living.
I was just looking at the stock market because Amazon just released their earnings. The stock's up like $400 in the aftermarket right now, which is crazy. So probably a big day on Wall Street tomorrow. Rotterdam to partly dismantle historic bridge for Jeff Bezos's super yacht.
God damn.
The historic steel bridge in the Dutch port city of Rotterdam is to be partly dismantled to allow a super yacht built for Amazon founder Jeff Bezos to pass, local authorities have announced.
Dude, that's not a super yacht. That's a ship.
Dude, that is an ocean liner.
Holy shit.
Bezos is
gigantic.
430 million euro, so $485 million yacht is too big for the iconic Koningshaven Bridge, which dates from 1878 and was rebuilt after being bombed by the fucking Nazis in 1940 during the Second World War. The shipyard building the three-masted mammoth is Alblasserdam, near Rotterdam, has asked the local council to remove the bridge's central section so it can pass through. It's the only route to the sea, a spokesperson for the mayor of Rotterdam told AFP, adding that the Amazon owner would foot the bill for the operation.
Hell yeah.
The decision has angered some of the commies in the Netherlands as the local council promised after a major renovation in 2017 that it would never again dismantle the bridge, known as Rotterdammers as De Hef. The mayor's office emphasized the economic benefits and jobs created by the construction of the boat, but promised that the bridge would be rebuilt in its current form. The middle section of the huge steel-girded bridge will be removed to give enough clearance for the 130-foot high boat.
High. 130 feet high, not long.
High.
How long is this fucking thing?
13 stories.
Holy shit. That's an ocean liner.
My God.
That is a cruise ship. That's a small cruise ship.
The process will take a few weeks and is expected to happen this summer. Bezos, 57, is one of the world's richest men after transforming online bookseller Amazon into a global shopping giant.
Damn. I want to see pictures of the whole yacht, though. Like, what's the design of it?
I mean, you think about what Bezos paid to divorce his like wife, and now he's like got his like hottie, and now he's got this like he's got so much money, like he doesn't even know. We gotta get rid of that bridge so my yacht can
Got
get
to
out
get
of
rid
here.
of that.
And it's so funny how like the politicians are like, "Hey, well, think about all the jobs. This is crazy. He's rich. We're gonna let him do it. He's paying for it."
Do whatever F he wants, man.
Yeah, that, my
Yeah.
friends, is fuck you money right there. I wish
Yeah,
they
at
would have
least
said how much it's gonna cost for this bridge to be. I mean, it's like an ugly old bridge. It looks like something you'd see in Trenton. It's not like it's a nice. It's not like it's
yeah,
some
it's like a
fancy bridge.
iron bridge, right? Like one of those
No.
old like a trestle bridge. I see the model. There's like a showroom with the model of the boat,
Yeah.
and there's like so you see this massive model, and everything's to scale. And you see the helicopter on it. It's a tiny little helicopter landing on the front of the bow of this freaking giant thing. I'm like, that's gonna be huge. 130 feet high.
130 foot high. Are we getting stats here on how long it is?
Hey, I don't know. He's trying to claim he's got the longest one. Ayo.
Isn't it so funny? Like just these like dickhead, like ultra billionaires, like the way they compete. It's like, look how big my yacht is. I got 3 masts and a helicopter and this.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, I only use mine like 2 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
You look at the pictures of it, like it's just bananas what this thing looks like. The flying fox, is that what it's being called? Well, what's really nuts is that this article is from January of 2020, before all the, stupid lockdown and pandemic and all that crap went down.
Oh, yeah.
This was designed in Norway. It is the 14th largest yacht on Earth, boasting 136 meters in length.
Wow.
You know how ridiculous that is?
So it's done. So I'm
It's
looking
like
at another
1.5
article.
football fields long.
Yeah, I'm looking at Esquire and they're showing the picture of it, and it looks like it's built. They're saying it was built by Lursen Shipping Company in 2019. So is that the
Yeah.
boat 136 meters long? So I'm wondering if this is the boat. They just haven't shipped it to him because they
Are they
probably
gonna-
have to retrofit
well,
it.
I don't think you can just ship a giant boat like this.
He's Amazon. He could ship it anywhere.
Ship
Next
it in
day.
Prime, baby.
Yeah, prime it. 2-day free shipping.
It's so funny. This article I found, it says it's a bit unexpected from Jeff Bezos buying a $400 million super yacht right from the bat after his recent divorce with his wife Mackenzie. It's like, no, it's not. That's exactly when you buy a boat like this, right after you get divorced.
Boom. This is the, hey, I still got money from the divorce. So Esquire, it's funny. This is Esquire Middle East. I don't know how the fuck I get on these sites. Well, I guess because it was seen in Turkey. So it came out of Esquire off the coast of Turkey. So that's the one I just sent you. So the funniest thing though is they allow people to comment at the bottom, and you see all these people like, we live in a world where people make all this, 149 plus $1,000 a minute, while the bottom 50% of the world's population won't earn that much in their lifetime. And other people, everybody's hating, and I'm like, good for him.
Dude,
He found a way to do
he
it.
created one of the most important companies of this century. Like,
Yeah.
you could get off your ass and stop commenting online and start building something too. Like, you can
What?
help figure out how to get people from Denver to ski areas without having to take I-70, and you could become a billionaire too. But you know what?
Exactly.
You don't want to put any fucking effort in. You want to sit there and bitch and complain about people who've worked hard. Go fuck yourself. Go figure it out. Otherwise, you're not going to make any goddamn money, and you're not going to get a super yacht and some little hottie that you get to as your rebound chick after you get divorced.
Boom.
That's on you. That is not Jeff Bezos' fault. That is not Mario's fault. That is not my fault. That's your fault. Look in the mirror, assess yourself. Be better.
Be better than that.
Yeah, it's not my fault you suck. Step your game up, son.
Well, one of my favorite things is they have a meme of like it's a dog, and they have over it says, "Be the person your dog thinks you are."
I like that.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
when you get it down to simple things, your dog thinks you're the rock star. Be that rock star.
Mhm.
So now there's a different picture I found, And it's like a 3-mast sailing vessel.
Well, that's what it said in that article. Yeah, it's got 3 masts, which this Flying Fox doesn't have any masts, but it's got a helicopter and like 4 levels.
Yeah, that's so. I don't know. Let me show you. Let me send you this one. Like a big mystery what yacht he has. So this is May 2021. Y721 would be as long as Great Pyramid Giza's tall.
I think this is a different boat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. One of them he rented. I think the one on the Esquire thing was he rented that. I'm not sure. Whatever, we'll figure out. I'm sure there'll be another article.
Well, I'm sure when Jeff invites us onto it, then we'll have this all straightened out.
Yeah. So they're saying it's that high, and they said something about 3 masts.
Which is the reason
three-masted mammoth.
Why it needs to clear that bridge, yeah.
Right. So I'm wondering if it is that second one I just sent you. The last one I just sent you. It's like a 3-mast. It might be similar to that boat.
Ooh, that's still being weird.
Built. Isn't that weird?
That's super weird.
It's kind of like a luxury version of what they did for the America's Cup. Yeah. But the America's Cup, they have that sail. It's like a wing almost.
Yeah.
It almost looks like that.
It's going to cost $50 million a year to run it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Something that big, you got to have a crew. I wonder how much of a staff, like 50-person staff. Like, there's a lot of people that got to support a ship. That's a ship. That's not $50
million a year to run the boat. $50 million to run the boat. God damn.
Damn.
That is unbelievable.
I wonder if he's going to have trouble getting staff to run the boat for him. Like everybody else is having, labor shortage.
Jeff will find the way.
I'm sure he's going to find a way.
God damn. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
It will be
I just want to see this boat.
It will be as long as the Great Pyramid of Giza is tall and loaded with state-of-the-art treasures, including an in-deck swimming pool and ambient cinema, all contributing to the rumored price tag of around $500 million. Boom. All right, so think about it. Say you have a net worth of, I don't know, let's say $200,000, right? You're doing all right for yourself. You got your little 401k, got some stocks. That would be like you spending $500.
Damn.
Right?
Drop in the bucket.
200 million, 200,000, 200 billion.
I like the idea of getting a baller ass yacht because it depends how much time you spend there. I mean, you could spend 4 months on a yacht easily,
You
depending on how much
could.
you use it.
I mean, now that he's sort of retired.
We got to see how much, how big is Shaq's yacht compared to Jeff Bezos' yacht?
So if you had a net worth of 200,000, that's like you spending $500. That's how much this is going to affect his net worth.
It's a damn drop in the bucket. And you know what? You can't take it with you, so you might as well piss it away on stuff like this.
The thing is, so he buys this yacht for $500 million. He still has $199 billion.
$1 billion left untouched.
$199.5 billion.
That's what I'm saying. It's craziness. God. It's crazy math. Like you can't even, he's at a level where you lose, like he has a relationship of what money means from how he grew up. But think about if you're a kid growing up, like if you were his kid, you would have no relation to the rest of the world in terms of money. It would just be totally not an object.
Phenomenal. Well done, Jeff. Jeff's taking care of business. What can you say? Yeah. Gotta respect that.
So speaking about another rich guy doing some crazy shit, let's go to Elon Musk. So there's a derelict SpaceX rocket that is going to crash into the moon. So they said it's going to give scientists a rare opportunity to study a fresh crater on the moon. An old SpaceX rocket stage is about to reach its final destination after roughly 6-year journey by crashing into the moon in spectacular fashion. The second stage from the company's Falcon 9, from one of the company's Falcon 9 spacecrafts, was used to send the National NOAA's Deep Space Climate Observatory into space in February 2015. Ars Technica reported. And instead of falling back to Earth, the rocket was stuck in a gravity limbo between us and the moon. Bill Gray, creator of Near Earth Object Tracker Project Pluto, along with a team of amateur and professional astronomers, recently discovered that the rocket would actually be crashing into the far side of the moon on March 4th. Interestingly, the crash is going to provide scientists with a rare opportunity to observe how craters are formed on the moon. The rocket weighs roughly 4 metric tons and will be hitting the moon at a rate of 1.6 miles per second. So they're saying it should create a nice sized crater for observations. While this is a good opportunity to learn about the moon, in other ways, it's far from ideal. That's crazy.
Rockets are generally designed to return to Earth to burn up on reentry, not wander off to the moon.
I wonder if that could cause the moon to go out of orbit or something.
That was my first concern. I have no grasp of extraterrestrial physics. Like, I don't understand it at all. But
Yeah.
my whole thought was, is this gonna like mess up the orbit of the moon? Like, is this gonna be like knock a chunk of it off? Now,
Right.
would there even be an explosion? I guess not, because there's no
fuel.
atmosphere, no oxygen in space,
Yeah.
right?
You're just going to get the impact crater of it hitting the moon and the dust going up. And who knows? Maybe the dust is going to block out the sun for a while. Maybe it'll throw the moon in front. Who knows what's going to go on? It's going to be crazy stuff.
Isn't that so funny? It's just like, I've ever seen that article being like, wait, there's going to be a random rogue rocket. It's going to crash into the moon. Like, isn't this like, shouldn't we be concerned about this? Like, isn't this a problem? It's like, no, not really.
Yeah, it's just space junk.
And where is the Tesla that Elon sent up there?
Oh, they said it was
burn up already?
orbiting. Was it going to go out? There's the moon man. Starman. Starman is currently 6%. There's a 6% chance of the Roadster colliding with the Earth over a 3 million year time span, and 3% chance it will collide with Venus. That's freaking
boy.
Just so random.
Elon's just sending shit up there like, eventually it'll land somewhere, right?
Not in my lifetime. It'll be the next extinction event, and it's the fucking Roadster hitting the Earth.
So they lost. Well, didn't they like lose contact with it a couple years ago? Because it went up in 2018, in February of 2018.
Yeah. So what happened last year? It went close to Mars, last month, and they're saying it's been moving away from both Mars and Earth at speed. And they're saying the website Where is Roadster estimates the car is 17.3 miles from Mars, moving away at a speed of 20,189 miles per hour.
Oh my God, dude, there's that website. If you go to it, you can actually like put in the date and see exactly where it is.
That's awesome.
So it's actually orbiting the sun right now. It's in orbit.
Right.
And it's following, the orbit is between Mars's and Earth's orbit. But right now, it's not even close to either one of them.
Yeah, it's just flying all the way away from everything.
Yeah, it's just orbiting on its own schedule now.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's so freaking awesome.
I wonder if they're planning it that like it'll crash into Mars when we have somebody finally go there, and then they have a car on Mars.
That would be pretty awesome. Yeah, so right now, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It makes no sense what I'm saying. It's pretty much opposite of where Earth is from the sun.
Well, my question is, what unfortunate person is in that suit that they put in there?
It's
goddamn somebody they wanted to make disappear, chuck them in there, bada bing, bada bang.
Who have we not seen since February of 2018?
Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, I did read another article. They said it's not going to look anything like it did originally because it's going to be just battered by rays and all
Space
sorts of
junk
stuff.
and
They said the car chassis is probably going to be just clean metal, and the spaceman might either not be there anymore, or like the suit will be torn up and the helmet might be there, like, and then you'll be able to see who's in it.
Well, could you imagine though, like if you did want to make someone disappear, like is there a more perfect way to get rid of them?
Dude, there's the evidence floating. How are you going to get that back? You got to spend like
Exactly.
$1 billion to go get that back. There's no way.
Exactly. More than that.
More than
You're
that,
never
you'd
gonna
be like,
find him.
and it's alleged. How are you going to prove it?
Yeah. Maybe it's like some like illegal Elon Musk baby mama trying to get rid of her.
Maybe it's the real Justin Trudeau, and the fake
Mm,
one with the blackface is down here with us. Who
yeah.
knows?
He's hiding someone up there.
It's Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Remember all those conspiracies? Jimmy Hoffa's in was in Giant Stadium end zone and on the bridge. Like, is all these different.
I love a good conspiracy theory. And we've been talking about Justin Trudeau and what a little kind of chicken shit he's been lately with this
Fidel
whole trucker
Castro's
convoy.
little boy.
The Fidel Castro's is Justin Trudeau's father is a fun rabbit hole to go down. I went down it for 10 minutes and I'm like, all right, this is a bunch of crap.
You did the math and said there's no way he could have been that, but
I read a few articles. I entertained it for a few minutes and then I moved on with my life. I'm not going to like go
dude, so
online.
many people
and
haven't heard about the Denver airport conspiracy.
The Denver airport one is a good one.
But that was one of the first big ones that hit like Google, and like I've mentioned it to people like, oh, I never heard. I'm like, you got to Google that thing.
Well, that was like one of the ones you heard like pre-Google too, right?
Yeah. It was like creepy stuff.
Yeah.
And then it was on Google and you're like, wow, it's all there.
I feel bad for some of these people who really get into conspiracy theories because there is so much evidence. I mean, quote unquote evidence out there now. If you want to just go for a ride and just like leech onto one of these and make it your thing, like the flat earth people. My favorite conspiracy theory is the one that Jim Morrison never died. He actually became Rush Limbaugh. That is a real conspiracy theory. People thought because Jim Morrison's dad had some sort of, was it the Air Force maybe or FBI and had some connections. And somehow Jim Morrison became Rush Limbaugh.
Damn.
That's a fun one. If you want to go down a rabbit hole and have at it, I recommend that one. That's a fun one.
That's awesome. So it's funny. I looked up the conspiracy and they have it on Denver.org. They have it on there. So like they're using it. It's like a genius advertising thing.
Well, when you were there, did you see all the stuff in the airport now? They have all these signs up saying like, oh, there are tunnels in the airport or something.
Why not? People were looking for it,
Mm-hmm.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it gets creepy. I remember the first time I looked at it, it was like I was new to it. Like it was when Google was just starting getting big and people were surfing the net, and like I was alone. It was dark, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh my god, this is creepy shit. I don't know, man. The Illuminati, lizard people, and Lucifer.
Lucifer's the blue horse outside, right?
Yeah, with the red eyes.
Yeah. Super crazy. It's fun stuff.
It is fun.
All right. Anything else this week? Or is that wrapping it up?
I think that's about wrapping it up.
Yeah, this was a fun episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. Send us an email, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. We're on your favorite podcasting apps, especially Spotify. Shout out Joe Rogan. We're not pulling our podcast off.
That's right. Solidarity.
iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, wherever you find wonderful podcasts at. We've got a shop, skibumpodcast.com/shop if you want some swag. Thank you again to Terracea and Paradise Skis. Go to the website. We have the links in the show notes if you want to get a discount on their awesome products. Thank you again for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Stay high, stay fluting.
See ya.